Ezekiel chapter 13, Israel's false prophets condemned. Now, this isn't just Israel's false prophets. This is all false prophets will be condemned, even the false prophets of today. The word of the Lord came to me, Son of man, prophesy against the prophets of Israel who are prophesying. Say to those who prophesy out of their own imagination. Hear the word of the Lord. This is what the Lord God says. Woe to the foolish prophets who follow their own spirit and have seen nothing. They have not had a vision. They've seen nothing. Your prophets, Israel, are like jackals among ruins. You did not go up to the gaps or restore the wall around the house of Israel so that it might stand in the battle on the day of the Lord. They were not ready. They were not ready for battle. They saw false visions and their divinations were a lie. They claimed, this is the Lord's declaration, when the Lord did not send them. Yet they wait for the fulfillment of their message. They're waiting for something that's never going to happen. Holding their breath. Didn't you see a false vision and speak a lying divination when you proclaimed, this is the Lord's declaration, even though I had not spoken? He ain't say nothing. Now imagine lying on God like that. There's a special place for those people. Therefore, this is what the Lord God says. You have spoken falsely and had lying visions. That's why you discover that I am against you. This is the declaration of the Lord God. My hand will be against the prophets who see false visions and speak lying divinations. And y'all, that is rampant today. They will not be present in the council of my people or be recorded in the register of the house of Israel, and they will not enter the land of Israel. Then you will know that I am the Lord God, since they have led my people astray by saying peace when there is no peace, and since when a flimsy wall is being built, they plaster it with whitewash. So whitewash, I had to look that up because I'm like, I don't know what that is. So it chips, it peels, it doesn't have a finish. It's not permanent. So they were lazy when they did this. They're being very much so lazy. Therefore, tell those plastering it with whitewash that it will fall. Torrential rain will come, and I will send hailstones plunging, or they will plunge down, and a whirlwind will be released. When the wall has fallen, will you not be asked, what's the whitewash you plastered on it? Because whitewash requires constant maintenance, especially when it gets wet. So this is what the Lord God says. I will release a whirlwind in my wrath. Torrential rain will come in my anger, and hailstones will fall in destructive fury. I will demolish the wall you plastered with whitewash and knock it to the ground so that its foundation is exposed. And it's not even just the foundation exposed, the foundation of the efforts that went behind it. They will be exposed for what they used. The city will fall and you will be destroyed within it. Then you will know that I am the Lord. After I exhaust the most extreme form, turned up to the highest intensity, my wrath against the wall and against those who plaster it with whitewash, I will say to you, the wall is no more, and neither are those who plastered it. Those prophets of Israel who prophesied to Jerusalem and saw a vision of peace for her when there was no peace, this is a declaration of the Lord God. Now you, son of man, or Ezekiel, face the women among your people who prophesy out of their own imagination and prophecy against them. Say this. Say, this is what the Lord God says. Woe to the women who sew magic bands on the wrist of every hand and who make veils. And I had to look like, what did veil mean in this context? Because veil means different things depending on where you're reading in the Bible. But in this context, it means like a kerchief, like an actual veil that you would put over yourself for the heads of people of every size in order to ensnare lives. Will you ensnare the lives of my people but preserve your own? You profane me among my people for handfuls of barley and scraps of bread. Now, remember, Judas sold Jesus for 30, was it 30 pieces of silver? So it's not worth anything, okay? You put those to be unalived who should not be unalive, and spare those who should not live, when you lied to my people who listen to lies. Now, the thing is, it's just as much their fault as it is the ones who lied to them, because you believed it. Therefore, this is what the Lord God says: I am against your magic bands with which you ensnare people like birds, so caged. And I will tear them from your arms. I will free the people you have ensnared like birds. I will also tear off your veils and rescue my people from your hands, so that they will no longer be prey in your hands. Then you will know that I am the Lord. And what's funny is when it says here, I will also tear off your veils, that reminds me of when, after Jesus gave up his last breath, the veil in the temple was torn from top to bottom. And I just thought of that. And it says that you will know that I am the Lord. Because right after that happened, the people who persecuted him were like, he was Christ. Y'all, that really just came to me. I had never thought of that before. Let me make a note of that. Because you have disheartened the righteous person with lies, when I intended no distress, because they're not supposed to be in distress, and because you have supported or strengthened the hand of the wicked person so that he does not turn from his evil way to save his life, therefore you will no longer see false visions or practice divination. I will rescue my people from your hands, then you will know that I am the Lord.